Yeah.
Businesses are getting hit with a cyber attack like every 39 seconds.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's wild out there. So today, we're going to do a deep dive on AI and cybersecurity.
Right. See how AI is changing the game, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating to see how AI is being used both offensively and defensively in the cybersecurity space.
Yeah, and hopefully by the end, listeners will have a solid grasp of some of the top AI tools and strategies so they can be better protected, no matter the size of their business or their technical expertise.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially with the financial stakes being so high.
Right.
I mean, do you see that the average cost of a data breach these days is over $4 million?
Yeah, 4.2, 4 million to be exact.
And it's only going to get worse with projections saying that global cybercrime damages are going to reach $10.5 trillion annually by 2025.
$10.5 trillion.
Trillion.
I can't even fathom that number.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. It's like, okay, how is AI, helping us sort of fight back against this massive wave of cybercrime?
Well, it's interesting because, like you said, it's being used on both sides.
Right.
You have threat actors that are using AI to create more targeted and sophisticated attacks.
Right. I mean, I remember reading about that Deep Locker malware
Yeah, Deep Locker. That was crazy.
that was hiding in a video conferencing app.
Yeah. It basically hid itself until it recognized its target's face, and then it would launch the attack.
It's scary how clever these attacks are becoming.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
a constant cat and mouse game,
Yeah.
But the good news is that AI is also being used to fight back against these threats.
Okay. So let's get into that. How are we actually using AI to combat these kinds of threats?
Well, one of the biggest areas is in real-time threat detection.
Okay.
You have AI systems like Darktrace, which uses machine learning to constantly analyze network traffic patterns, searching for anomalies or any kind of unusual activity that could signal a potential attack.
So it's like having a superpowered security guard, basically.
Right, exactly. Instead of just relying on a set of static rules, these AI systems are constantly learning and adapting to new threats as they emerge.
Okay. So it's not just about, catching what we already know is bad.
Yeah.
It's about learning.
Right, identifying new threats as they pop up.
Wow. And I saw you had some stuff about CrowdStrike Falcon in your notes. What's that one all about?
Yeah, so CrowdStrike Falcon, that one's pretty interesting because it uses AI to detect malicious activity by analyzing file behavior.
Okay.
So even if the malware is completely new, something that's never been seen before, it can still flag it as potentially harmful based on how it's acting within the system.
So it's like it's looking for suspicious behavior
Yeah.
rather than just matching signatures like traditional antivirus software would. Okay. So we've got these systems that are like always on, always watching.
Right.
But I'm also seeing a lot about prediction here.
Yeah.
Using AI to anticipate and prevent attacks before they even happen. That's got to be huge.
Yeah, that's where predictive analytics comes in.
Okay.
And I think this is probably one of the most exciting areas
Yeah.
where AI is being used to analyze past data on, all sorts of cyber attacks, looking for patterns,
Right.
and then using that information to try to predict future vulnerabilities before they're even exploited.
So they're basically saying, okay, this is what hackers have done in the past. So this is probably what they're going to try to do next. And let's try to shut it down before it even happens.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one of the articles I was reading, I think it's about a banking firm that managed to reduce attempted breaches by 50% just by using AI for this type of predictive analysis.
Well, 50%.
Yeah. It's pretty significant when you think about the potential losses they avoided.
Yeah. So these systems are learning from past attacks,
Right.
getting smarter,
Right.
more proactive. It's almost like they're building up an immune system.
Yeah, exactly. And then even if an attack does get through, AI can help to automate the incident response.
Oh, okay. So even if someone does manage to break in, there's still a way to minimize the damage.
Right. And tools like Cortex XSR, they can orchestrate a whole bunch of different security tools and automate the entire response process.
Okay.
So for example, let's say a hacker manages to get access to sensitive data.
Uh-huh.
Cortex XSR, it can detect that breach, instantly, and then it can take steps to isolate the affected systems, maybe cut off access, alert the security teams, and all this happens automatically.
So it's not just about speed then. It's
Yeah.
about coordinating a complex response.
Yeah, exactly. And it's doing all that in real time,
I mean, this all sounds incredible, but I mean, you yourself, you're running a small business. I mean, is this kind of AI cybersecurity stuff just for those big companies with those big budgets?
No, not at all. There are definitely solutions out there for smaller businesses. You don't need a massive budget to leverage the power of AI for cybersecurity.
Okay, good.
I mean, for instance, there's Sentinel-Alone AI.
Mm.
It offers robust endpoint protection, and it's actually designed with smaller businesses in mind.
So it's affordable, it's effective.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good news because I think a lot of people assume that this stuff is just out of reach.
Right.
But what about those more everyday threats that I think we all face, those phishing emails?
Yeah.
Everyone's getting those. Are there AI tools that can help with those too?
Yeah, for sure. There's Microsoft Defender AI, for one.
Okay.
It's got some pretty sophisticated AI algorithms that analyze emails and look for anything suspicious,
Yeah.
things that might indicate a phishing attempt. So it could be anything from the sender's address to the language used in the email, or even like weird links that are included.
So it's helping people avoid clicking on those dangerous links.
Right. It's trying to protect employees from falling victim to these scams.
Okay, that's great. And I'm noticing a lot of your research is about the cloud.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the role of AI in securing cloud environments?
Well, cloud security is a big one. And the major cloud providers, they're all using AI to monitor and secure the massive amounts of data that are stored in their systems.
So that's like an extra layer of protection on top of everything else.
Right, exactly. It's helping to prevent data breaches, detect intrusions,
Mm.
and respond to threats much faster.
Okay. And you've also got some stuff here about e-commerce fraud,
Yeah.
specifically Forder AI, right?
Right, Forder AI.
What's that about?
So that one's really interesting. They're using AI to analyze customer behavior in real time to try to identify fraudulent transactions.
Okay.
So it's looking at things like the customer's purchase history, their location, their device, and even their browsing patterns to try to determine if the transaction is legitimate or if it might be, someone trying to use a stolen credit card or something.
And that's got to be a huge help for online businesses,
Right.
especially with so much fraud going on.
Yeah, especially those businesses dealing with a really high volume of transactions, it's a game changer for them.
So it seems like AI is, I don't know, it's becoming essential in cybersecurity.
Yeah.
But I mean, are there any potential downsides?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect solution.
Okay.
One of the biggest challenges is the possibility of what they call false positives,
Okay.
where the AI system flags something as a threat when it's actually totally legitimate activity.
Right.
So this is why it's so important to still have that human oversight. You can't just rely on the AI to make every decision.
So it's not a set it and forget it kind of solution.
Exactly. You still need skilled security professionals to be
Mm.
there, monitoring the systems, analyzing the alerts, and making the final call on what actions to take.
And I mean, I guess the other big concern is what if hackers get their hands on this technology, right?
Yeah, I mean, just as AI can be used to strengthen defenses, it can also be used to create even more sophisticated attacks.
Right.
There's already concern about AI-powered malware that could be used to launch attacks that are much more difficult to detect and defend against.
So it's like an arms race almost,
Exactly.
where both sides are constantly trying to outsmart each other.
Right. And the stakes just keep getting higher and higher.
So what does this all mean for, businesses going forward?
Well, I think it means that we need to be really proactive about cybersecurity,
Okay.
understanding the evolving threat landscape and also the capabilities of AI, both offensively and defensively, is really critical.
Yeah, it sounds like the key is finding that right balance.
Yeah,
Harnessing AI's power while also, recognizing its limitations,
exactly. And never getting complacent.
right? Because as we've seen, the bad guys are constantly innovating. Well, this has been fascinating.
Yeah, it's a fascinating topic.
I feel like we've covered a lot of ground here today, but this is really just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, this is only the beginning.
This AI revolution in cybersecurity. It's going to be interesting to see how things unfold.
Absolutely. It's going to be a wild ride.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this deep dive. Stay safe out there, everyone.
Stay safe.